What? Ready to go live. You are live. Where's my introduction? Wait a moment. Wait one moment. Let me introduce you all to the 15-minute boots on the ground. Oh, where is it? Man, it's, you know what? I call myself being fancy, but you know what? It's okay. It is okay because this is the video that we really need to see. My name is Yvette Jones Swanson. I am the National Veterans Homeless Housing Advocate and Consultant. And I'm just going to turn y'all around over here on TikTok so y'all can watch that screen. So watch this because this is the introduction to what we will be talking about today. And then we have a special guest.
A lot of realtors are walking this way, and I'm just going to ask if they know how to house homeless veterans. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
No.
No.
Okay.
I sadly do not.
I do not, but I would love to learn.
I do not.
I do not, but I would like to know how.
The answer to that is no.
No. Do you know how to house homeless veterans?
I do not.
I do not.
Do you know how to house a homeless veteran?
He's a veteran and he would be
Come
homeless
here.
if I did not house.
Okay. We're here at the Capitol, Illinois State Capitol. This is the lobby day for realtors. And I did make an announcement on the bus about my 3-hour course that I wrote to teach realtors how to work effectively with a homeless veteran. Just because the veteran is homeless doesn't mean they don't have resources to use to get housed or to get anything else they need, because they do. But how do you get to those resources to help that homeless veteran get housed? I've got the class and it'll be out soon.
Well, welcome back. So the question is, what if the veteran already has a resource when he or she comes to you? So today we're going to talk about working with realtors in the community. I am a realtor. I'm a realtor with Real People Realty here in the Chicagoland area. And I've been a realtor since 1996. And I've been working with homeless veterans for 22 consecutive years as a realtor. And my realtor colleagues would ask me all the time, Yvette, how do you get paid? Simply because realtors don't, I'm not going to say they don't know, but they don't know. And we are the key. We are the catalyst to ending homelessness. If I can house over 5,000 homeless veterans, so can any realtor in any city and any state. That's what this book teaches right here. And this book was approved by the IDFPR. It was approved for me to teach a 3-hour course because I wrote the course. I taught the course for a 3-hour pilot and it wasn't long enough. So I am resubmitting this book to be a 6-hour course because we can house homeless veterans from homelessness to home ownership. I did it for years as a realtor and as a former homeless veteran myself. So I take great strides into teaching, but first you got to buy the book. And when my class is available, take the course, because I tell everybody, housing a homeless veteran is real estate. We're procuring a sale, we're procuring a rental, we are creating a commission. And that's what, that's our job. That's our position. And that's what we're here for, to house the community. And I just been housing homeless veterans for 22 years. That's who I want to service, because nobody else is in the community doing that. And there are a lot of difficulties housing homeless veterans because they're clumped into every other rental that's put on the MLS, or every other rental that has to be rented a certain way, because we do have rules and regulations that we must follow. But a lot of those rules and regulations, if done a different way, it's not even a rule or a regulation. It then becomes a rental. And that's what I teach you how to do. I mean, it's a lot of work than just that one sentence, but I'm not going to delay any further, because what I'm talking about is happening to this day. We have homeless veterans with resources in their hand, ready to move. So I'm going to welcome to the stage our guest, Albert Alexander, and I'll let him introduce himself.
Hello,
Albert,
everyone.
good. Introduce yourself, your name, your branch, and then I'm going to ask you a question.
All right, my name is Albert Alexander. I'm an Army veteran, 100% disabled, did 12 years in the military, and now I'm here in the city of Chicago looking for housing.
Exactly. So Albert is, and thank you so much. And this just happened between last night and today. But no, I take that back. This happened a few months ago. It's been happening over and over and over again.
Right.
But just last night, I reached out to some realtors who had listings on the MLS. And because, they're on the MLS, everybody has to abide by what those listings say, which are excluding veterans like Albert Alexander with the voucher in hand, ready to go. Tell us what's happening, what's been happening.
Well, some of the things that's been happening we can't prove, like, redlining, because we've set up apartments to go see them and they would never show up to show up the apartment. And then those who do give us the time of day tell me I got to have an application fee for every adult in the house, and they check all our credit scores. Well, then if they check our credit score and they tell me no, I'm out the money and my credit score is shot, because my point goes down every time they check my credit score. And here I am going through 5 different realtors or different homes, and each one of them got a $50 application for all the adults, and they all put my credit score. And just for looking for housing, now I can't even go buy a house because I've been looking for housing. I got to wait a year to my credit get up or do all this credit repair stuff, and then the situation just perpetuated due to no fault of my own, And I'm out of $200 or $300 just for application fees, because I got 4 adults in my family.
Exactly.
And then the traveling around to get to see the houses, that takes gas money, And when you're not in a housing, situation, you stand in your car here and there, you're spending more money on food. So it can be aggravating.
Right. So thank you for saying all of that. And I just want to recap to let everybody know who might have come late that we're talking to Army veteran Albert Alexander, who spent 12 years in the military, found himself and his family in a situation. Now they're homeless with the voucher in hand for 4 to 5 bedroom house. People should be scammering, saying, I got it, but instead we're dealing with realtors who just don't understand because of policies and regulations. I've been doing this for 22 years and the same thing has been happening. So I'd rather not go to the MLS because this will happen again and again. Somebody here asks, what's the biggest challenge you're seeing for vets this month? The same thing every month, housing. And we have a special guest here, Albert Alexander, who's talking about a challenge right now. So you might have gotten here late. So Albert, continue on with the story, please. What happened next?
Well, it's now because we're not finding housing, and with thanks for people like you that's doing this kind of work. But in the past 3 years, I have 3 different vouchers to get housing from a project base. I've had a realtor every time, and I've never ended up with a house to rent. Over the last 5 years, I've been trying to get a house, and they give me 180 days each time. And we every time they extend it, or we waste our time all the time trying to find a house. People not showing up to show us the house, or whatever these policies and rules that they have that keeps us in the same exact situation. And I'm 100% disabled. Even with that,
Right.
I haven't been able to get that or buy right now. I'm just in this
Right.
situation, reading my credit report.
Yes. So Air
it's very
Force
discouraging.
veteran, right. So Air Force veteran Felice Cyril, she said, hey, Albert, Felice
hey.
Cyril is one of my investors
her.
who I know you do. That's why she said, hey, Al, like you were commonplace. So Felice, she's one of my investors who who has given me properties over the years, and no problem. You know, I call her up and say, hey, Felice, I have a veteran who has a voucher and I want them to see your place. They like it. We do the paperwork, everything approves, and they move in. And this is what's happened over and over and over again to 5,000, because it doesn't take what all realtors think. And that's why we have so many homeless veterans, because realtors just don't know how to put those two pieces together. So everybody go ahead to the bio and go ahead and pick up my book so you can learn how to do it. When the class is when I start teaching the class again, you all will know. But everybody needs this. You know, my realtor colleagues would ask me all the time, Yvette, how do you get paid? How, if you're housing homeless veterans, where's the money? So we're talking about where the money is. If Albert has a voucher, Albert, how much is your voucher worth?
They'll pay almost up to $4,000 a month.
So that's a 4-bedroom voucher. Let me tell you something about that. And that's up to $4,000 a month in a traditional area. If you were to move to an opportunity area, mobility area, it could be $5,400. So if you have an investor who has a property, let's say in Beverly, and the normal rent out there for a 4-bedroom is what you just said, $4,000 or whatever. Now, because it's an opportunity area, I can refer you over to HCP, and now you receive that upgrade to 150% over the face value of that voucher, now paying that landlord $5,400 a month. And this is a commission. It's not, we're not asking anybody to do this for free. We're not asking anybody to do this as a charity. This is business. Albert is carrying around money in his pockets for housing, but instead we have a homeless veteran with between $4,000 to $5,400 a month in his pocket and can't get housed. This is what I've been dealing with for the past 22 years. And this is why I created opportunities in the community with investors and taught them over year after year after year to be able to house 5,000. So Albert, continue. What more would you like to let everybody know?
Well, I'll share this. But I was saying, if I was in office, I would make sure people wouldn't have to do these application things, that a credit check when someone's looking for a house, whether you're a voucher or not. I don't think anybody's credit should be shot just because they're looking for a place to live or rent, especially renting, because you're not buying. So why did the landlord need to know my credit history? Because that don't prove I can pay my rent on time, because life happens to everybody. People make millions of dollars and still can't pay their rent sometimes because life happens. So to me, I think that we should do something about that at that level. You know, it should not cut anybody's credit score, because it puts them in a hurt situation, and then you get told no on top of you're checking your credit. So that's the problem I'm having. It's really aggravating.
Yeah. Well, now the reason, you know, people want to see your credit, and because they want to see your history. Now, however, that's on the open market. When I work with investors and landlords, all of that's squashed. It's squashed. And the reason is, and if they want to see credit, then there's ways that I can show them your credit. There's ways that you can show them your credit for free. You know, there's free credit check, free go to Credit Karma. You know, there's a lot of ways that we can show what you're doing. Because if you can't pay your utility, let's say there's a huge utility bill and it's in collection, or you can't get gas, so things like that matter. But things like that, we can always get you assistance for, because of all the benefits that veterans receive.
Right.
So, what else would you like to say, Albert? Tell the people what's going on in this community, because I think they don't believe me. Even after 22 years of being boots on the ground, housing over 5,000, they still don't believe me. So tell them what's going on with you firsthand.
Well, like I said, that's what I'm going through right now. Even when you're trying to work and everything like that, I got to pay more percentage, which is normal. We expect that. But even with that, it's they don't take on other programs or other ideas. They're not really flexible. When I talk to landlords myself, I try to come up with solutions myself with different landlords, and some of them just say, "Well, no, we can't do it." It seems like they don't want to listen, or only want to try sometimes. And I also feel that when they hear the word voucher, they hear like, "Oh, they're going to tear up my house," or
Yeah.
they're low lifes, or this or that. And like I said, I've gotten what we call red line, where we set up appointments to see a house, and then they never show up. And I'm out there with my family sitting in front of the house. Oh, they should be there any minute now, and they never show up. And so we wasted a whole day trying to go look for a house, and now we got to
Mhm.
drive back, and it was just a waste of time and money. And that's happened several times, and I'm not the only one that's happened to. But then what can we say? We can't make a person rent us their house because that's their home. They can rent to whoever they want. So can nobody make them rent me out their house? At the same time, if they did, I wouldn't want it now because it's a bad spirit between us. You know. So now it might seem like I need to be grateful, but who wants to be in a bad situation or relationship with someone and you're renting their house? So it's a catch-22. You know.
Yeah. And we were almost at the verge of you buying, and this came up because of all these credit checks. So now,
Yeah.
because of all these credit checks pulling your credit score down, your credit scores down, now you have to rebuild your credit.
It'll take some time.
Exactly. And then come back next year, to run the credit again, to apply for a VA loan.
All over
But in the
again. Yeah.
but all over again. But in the meantime, you're homeless
Or
with a
struggling
voucher
living
in.
place to place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is what we go through, and this is why, and I am so thankful for these platforms. We're streaming live now on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and TikTok, telling this real life story. We had another one the other day, another veteran homeless with the pre-approval in his hand. We were going out looking at houses and submitting offers, and now we're in the highest or best.
Right.
Luckily the buyer backed out, so now we're under contract. But why does it take all of that when we have veterans who are with money in hand, can rent right now, can buy
Right.
right now, but our veterans are in the same pool of people who didn't serve this country. And I'm not discriminating, but I think we should be number one and shouldn't be homeless, especially when there's resources that's paying the rents.
I feel the
This is
same way.
somebody's
I feel the same way.
livelihood. Yeah.
Especially with veterans and then the people who serve. I mean, people who didn't serve. They have a good. Some of them got good lives because they were able to take advantage of the freedom. And then we ask for something like, yeah, just help out with a little bit of rent or help veterans. A veteran, I believe, and their whole family should never ever have to suffer. And I think that people don't talk about the tour of duty the family members go through as well. They go
Right.
through a lot of turmoil when a veteran gets deployed and come back all messed up and everything, and they got to take care of the family. Daddies and mamas are scary now, and the kids don't know what to do. And there's no help because no one's ever been through that before. There's no mental health blanket or cookie cutter because no situation is ever the same.
Yeah.
So, and then we just left to ourselves to solve it because don't nobody else know how, and how can they really? So we have to adapt and overcome all the time and keep a positive mental attitude. So that's all on us.
Yeah. But this housing piece, this is solvable. It's solvable.
Hmm.
I proved it. Me and my teams over the years, we proved that it's solvable. But it takes the community. It takes a builder. It takes an investor. It takes a landlord, and
Hmm.
a property manager. I filled up buildings with veterans with vouchers and other SSVF fundings.
Yeah.
Landlords are concerned with the ones who I've run across over 22 years. They're concerned with the cash flow. You're good people. You got
Okay.
a voucher. You're a veteran. Yes, I support my veterans. Yvette, bring them all. This time in society right now, it's like veterans. You know, it's a negative connotation, and it should not be. What'll
Yeah,
happen if we were here to defend y'all? I'm just saying.
right. Yeah. A lot of us feel that way and they get disgruntled, but then we get considered like an angry veteran, or people don't want to deal with us after they see how upset we are. But
Hmm.
we need to have a place to express all that and let people know. And then we stick together and just live like you said, the community, put us all together. All those things are important with housing, along with housing. No one,
Yeah,
I can't put one over the other, but housing is a very key point, because if you're not housed, you really can't restabilize yourself and your spirit to get ready for a life or a job, and rekindle yourself with your family, and heal yourself from all the frustrations of being in a distressed situation or homeless or both.
yeah, yeah. Someone said, yes, I get critical comments all the time. Yeah, I don't
Hmm.
really know what that means, but this is what we're talking about homeless veterans, and what ticks me off is everybody. Well, I'm not going to say everybody, but I hear it all the time. And we're going over 15 minutes. So if you all want to stick around, feel free and do so. And make sure you click the like button and share and follow and do all that jazz. But it falls short when people say thank you for your service. What does that really mean? Is it like a cliche now? But what does it really mean?
In my opinion, if you ask, I think when people say that, they get a sense of fulfillment that they've done something, and then they can forget about it now. Oh,
Mhm.
thank you for your service, and or they may give $10 to something like that. We're grateful for that moment, but our lifestyle hasn't changed.
Right.
You haven't helped with that area, and it's hard to say these things to not be and not sound ungrateful or have the attitude of gratitude, but it doesn't it doesn't solve the problem.
Right.
And it needs to be said. You know, um, everybody worried about their bottom line, but like I was wondering, if you're going to get money from the VA or wherever, what's the problem? Why do you need all the credit check? It's guaranteed. So that should be my credit score right there. That should be my background check. If I just got
Yeah.
a job coming to you, I can see you. Well, how long you been on the job? How many you going to? I can see you asking that because you don't know these people, but you do know the VA. You do know you can hold
Yeah.
them accountable to the payment. If they haven't paid you, you know where you can go to get it.
Exactly.
They can't hide from you like a tenant can. Or they gone. I don't know where they went. But the VA
Right.
can't hide like that.
No.
And
Hold
VA
on.
VA not gonna be hiding Scotters whites either.
Right. We have a homeless, disabled senior veteran. I want you to go to my bio, find out how you can connect with me so I can see where you are and send resources to you. And anybody who is interested in learning how to house homeless veterans, make sure you go to my bio. I've created a full catalog of resources for realtors, for social workers, case managers, human care professionals. I've got a commercial I'll show y'all for everyday people who say, thank you for your service. Find out how you can really help them, help veterans with resources. How about that? And then for the community who wants, and your book will be in the mail tomorrow. This is a
Okay.
book to help guide, to help you create shared living models for veterans, for senior veterans, justice involved veterans, disabled veterans, the veterans of domestic violence, and veterans of LGBTQ in that community. If you want to create a licensed veterans home, then this is the book for you. Well, this was written for Atlanta, but it still has the steps for you to take wherever you are. And then this is a book for veterans who are interested in using their talents and their skills for their business, creating a business from boots to business using your passions. This book was supposed to have been, well, I don't know, supposed to be, whatever God has for me is for me. But this is a book for Chicago veterans, a comprehensive guide to federal, state, and local support that we don't even know we have available to us. And if you're doing workshops, this is your workshop book. I just released another book today. because it's just that easy. After 22 years, I know a lot, and now I know how to write and publish. So that's where I can create a lot of information, and my life will live on because of
Well, I
that.
want to say thank you for what you do. Appreciate it. Without people like you, man, a lot of people still be suffering. So you made your mark.
Thank you. They tell me that, and it's still so much to do because we have Oklahoma. Oklahoma, you're still going to have to send me your how to get in contact with you to send you your resources. But it's still so much. I'm only one person right here in the Chicagoland area. Those realtors, well, some of them aren't even realtors anymore. They've gone on to do other things in life, and I'm really like the only one housing homeless veterans as a realtor. Who does that? You know, people,
Hmm.
realtors, they want to know, where's the money? How can I house this homeless veteran? And because they don't know about the resources. Like you said, Uncle Sam, the federal government, they pay the rent. For
Right.
22 years, this is one benefit. HUD Vash and the SSVF organizations that last year received $3.8 billion, they paid the
Wow.
rent. They paid the rent for you right now. Which what you need to be in a bridge. You need to be in a bridge program right now that'll pay your, let's say it'll pay your motel stay until we find you some place to live.
Okay.
That's the bridge. So your social worker, go back to your social worker and let her or him know that your whole family is homeless and y'all need some place to live. You're in your truck all the time, they're in the van all the time. You need some place to live. So that's the bridge.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. And I do actually kind of got a lead. They're waving me down over here. So thank you for your time and everything like that. And I hope this helps a lot of other people. You know, make people know we feel they're not alone. You know, but we
Yeah.
still motivated and got a drive to solve this problem.
Yeah. Well, any other words you want to say before we disconnect?
I just want to say just hang in there, and I believe we all just come together. You know, with total package of healing with the housing and everything else that we need, and just be there for one another while we figure this thing out. That's the
Yeah.
best thing we
And
have.
yeah, Albert Alexander is also the founder of A Special Place for Veterans.
Yeah. I started out working to help build communities for veteran families. I ended up on the news because I started helping veterans and end up homeless myself 2 different times, you know, and that's what got me in the circle anyway. And then I started volunteering with different congressmen trying to get them to make a difference. And I don't know what challenges they all face, but I want to get closer to it to figure out what are the challenges and then these little problems that we're having, like we mentioned about the credit score and doing a credit check and background check. I want to make a policy to where, like I said, if I was in office or something like that, or convince someone that's in office to take away that, well, looking for housing, when you're looking for housing, the credit score should not affect you at all because you're not really trying to buy anything. This is not a luxury. This is a need. You shouldn't have to check a credit off a need. You know what I'm saying? If you want to buy a fancy car, that's one thing. Or a $30 million house, that's okay, do it. But we just trying to, eat, get out the way of inclement weather. Why should that be an application fee for that?
Right. Oh, I want to thank you for your time. Go with your family, and then I'm going to keep
Thank you too.
looking, and hopefully somebody in the community will say, Yvette, I got a 5-bedroom house, because
Right.
it's
And then with children, you want to try to get a good neighborhood.
Mhm.
There's that too. There's that also.
Yeah.
But okay, well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for listening to me.
I know they appreciate you. I do. All right, Albert, we'll be in touch, and you stay safe on the road, okay?
I will do.
All right.
All
Bye
right.
bye. All right. So, Jay Wells, it's first time ever heard of you or Vet Mentors. That's okay, because I wasn't in the public's eye. I've always been at the VA or or at a vet center, or at the Federal Bureau of Prisons, or at the Cook County Corrections, or at Prairie State College, or any city colleges. So I didn't have to be out in the public's eye like I am now. I'm out in the public's eye because the new administration from the White House down excluded my services because of whatever, I don't know, because they said new administration, and new administration did not include that of supporting the need of homeless veterans. Because I would take a team every single month. However, I've been housing homeless veterans for 22 consecutive years, and housing homeless veterans for 22 consecutive years, and doing veterans housing and home buying workshops at the Forest Park Vet Center in Forest Park, Illinois for 13 consecutive years, and doing workshops all over the vet centers and every place else I mentioned. So that's probably why you didn't see me, because I didn't have to be out here in the public. The only reason I was out in the public that was to attract more or meet more investors. So you know where all those places are. Yeah, that's where I was. All of them. And more. I didn't even mention the municipalities. Sorry, TikTok, for opening and closing. So we have been here longer than 15 minutes. And I want to thank you all for tuning in again, and for caring about, what I have to say about this homeless veterans community, because it doesn't have to be this way. Our veterans receive so many resources that pay the rent on their behalf. And a lot of my veterans, including myself, have gone on to bigger and better things in life. That finding home, and that's the title of one of my publications, Finding Home. This is our springboard. This is our springboard to housing. Once we can find some place to live, thank you, I just subscribed. Thank you so much. Once we can find some place to live, now we can breathe. We can, like my mama used to say, let your hair down and just be able to focus on life and moving in life's direction where God has called us to be. But if we're somewhere that we can't focus, we're always in an anxiety mode or depressed, we can't function clearly. When I was a homeless female veteran running away from a domestic violent marriage, it was hard for me to focus because I was always thinking of survival, fear, flight, or flight all the time. But once I got into my little studio apartment, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was promoted on my job at the City of Chicago Department of Revenue, managing SRO licensing in 6 months. Then got another promotion the next year. I'm talking increases in pay. That's because my mind was able to clear. Went back to school and got a master's degree. My mind was able to clear. I housed a homeless female veteran and her daughter when her daughter was 10 years old. When I was in the hospital waking up from a COVID near-death experience, to this doctor standing over me, and that was the female veteran who I housed 10 years prior. She's now a doctor. Another veteran, I housed him out of homelessness, and he walked up looking sharp, had on his cashmere coat. I said, now what happened to you, brother? He lost his corporate job. He spent 10 years in the military, lost his corporate job with his MBA and his Six Sigma. He lost his corporate job. Couldn't pay. How are you going to pay if you have no money? He became homeless, and I housed him 3 times. And now he's working on his PhD in divinity. You can't tell me housing does not need to come first, but it has to come first in the right order. And I said this before when the housing first started to hurry up, get a homeless veteran, put him in an apartment. Oh, you're going to hurry up, get a homeless veteran, put him in an empty apartment. In an empty apartment with nothing. Well, at least they're housed. Okay, well, yeah, at least they're housed. But now you have to help them get furniture, get furnishings, to feel like a person and not just somebody coming to lay down on the floor on a pallet of clothes from their black plastic bags. I know. I was one of them, and I housed several of them that way. So what I do, and the colleagues and the commission, Park Forest, when I was the vice chairman of the commission for the Veterans Village, the Veterans Commission of Park Forest, we came up with that idea to have furniture and furnishings for free. As long as the veterans can go pick it up, and it's yours for free. So that's my time, and I went over time, but I want to thank you all for being here. I understand the Tulsa VA offered me a stay in an overnight shelter with my PTSD. I know it's hard. We need some place just so we can just relax our mind. Thank y'all for watching. And also go to the bio. You really want to learn, go get my books. Because people ask me a question and they think that's going to answer every thought they have in their mind. Go get a book and read it. That's why I wrote all these books. 22 years of housing homeless veterans. I have a lot to say, and I've got more publications coming out. Let me see what this, I lived just south of Park Forest. Oh my goodness. Yes, I was the vice chairman of the Veterans Commission in the village of Park Forest from 2010 to 2015. Yes, I love Park Forest. Thank y'all for watching. Tim Shepard. All right. Thank y'all for loving the live. Okay, let me play something going out of here. Let me play y'all another video. Shared living. Okay, this is my new book. Everybody who says, Yvette, I want to do veterans housing. I'm about to show y'all this publication right here. All right, so get it, and so you can do some shared housing.
My book is now a top new release on Amazon in United States military veterans history. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran and wife of retired Army Master Sergeant Stephen Swanson. It's my honor to keep serving our homeless veteran community. This guide is the blueprint for housing solutions, from homeless and senior veterans to women, disabled, justice-involved, and LGBTQ+ heroes. Order today on Amazon and be part of the movement. Together, we can make sure no veteran is left behind.
Oh, all right. That is it. Man, where's my outro? I have to add an outro. Well, see y'all Monday at 5:15 Central. Ciao for now. Let me see. Before I go, let me put an outro. What is this one? Set as outro.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At Vet Mentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guidebook series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. Vet Mentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Yvette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of Vet Mentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.